So, Amrit, sometimes you get well-meaning advice in inverted commas from people that hear that you're maybe looking at a franchise or an investment, a franchise investment. What would be your advice to a candidate that maybe is, not getting a great reception from his friends and family?
Well, we've all been there, haven't we? It's down at the pub with your friend's brother or whatever it is, and you're doing what you're doing, and they're sort of a little bit ahead, and they quite like that situation. And sometimes it is well-meaning, but sometimes there's that kind of the devil inside everyone else that you need to be wary of. So I'm very cautious about who I go to for advice. There are limited people that personally I go to for advice, and people that I think really have my best interests at heart. That's the first part, but even then, I'm selective as to say, well, what would this person know about this particular thing, about franchising or care or whatever it might be, and what's their experience that would support me here. So I'll tell you about when I was buying a home care franchise. I was going from restaurants into home care franchising as a franchisee. And I remember driving past a friend of mine's house, and we grew up together. Known him since I was at nursery, and always a little bit kind of annoyed at everyone else kind of moving and taking action, because he wouldn't really want to take so much action himself. And so it just kind of knocked him off a little bit. And so he'd dress it up as a positive thing to say, I'm being supportive, but actually it was just a bit kind of, let's keep you here. And I remember parking up, and him and his dad were looking at his car, and I pulled up, get out of the car, had a chat with him, and hey, yeah, how have you been, and all that kind of stuff. And he said, what are you up to? And I said, well, obviously, there's restaurants and so on, but I'm just about to buy this home care franchise. And he looked at me, home care? What do you want to do that for? That's not going to do anything, is it? I mean, who wants to get into home care? And if I play, we were 25, and so part of it was that's uncool, and part of it was, what the heck are you doing? And I remember at that moment thinking, I need to be selective as to who I speak to about things. And I remember thinking that I don't think that this person really has my best interests at heart. And I think that the comments he is making to me actually come from a whole different place. They come from his own internal struggle and grapple that he's having, and he's worried about, well, where am I going to be in 5 years, and where is he going to be in 5 years, and there's all of that kind of stuff going on. And so what I would say is be super selective as to who you choose to be your advisor, and really think about, well, how are they qualified to be your advisor? If they're an accountant, are they specifically an accountant in home care and franchising? If they're a lawyer, are they a franchising lawyer? If they're a business coach, do they have experience in this? If they're a parent, do they have experience in this? Or do they have their own fear of businesses that they didn't start or did start and didn't go the right way? If they're a spouse and a partner, what's kind of going on in their mind, and what's the impact that your life change will have on them? And are they talking about it just as you, or are they thinking about how it's going to impact them? My thing in life is always, how am I going to feel on my deathbed? Is it going to be, I'm so glad I didn't start that business and I carried on working for someone else, until I couldn't work any longer? Or is it going to be, I'm so glad I did those 6 things, those 3 screwed up, and that one was okay, but that one really took off, and that's kind of what I'm now known for. For me, I'm that kind of almost fear of missing out in life for yourself, not comparing against everyone else. And I think in life, for me personally, it's very much about competing against your former self and saying, well, this is where I want to be. This is how I want to live. And what are the tools? A business is a tool that will allow you to live in that way. And I think within home care, yes, we're looking for passionate, engaged people, because this is not retail business. This is something that will really support and change someone's life, be that a care worker, a client's family. But also, equally, it is a tool for you as a business owner to live how you want to live. And profitability is okay, it's necessary. You can't operate a good quality, successful business without it. But also as a shareholder, you deserve it. Home care businesses, the social care sector is not propped up by the government. It's propped up by entrepreneurs. And those entrepreneurs deserve profit.